Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. I'm going to read through the full article here. There's a link in the description. I'm going to start off by giving you a maximum trigger warning, very severe trigger warning. So this whole subject is incredibly evil and troubling, and it gets worse. There's a lot of details within the article which I will be reading through, which are going to pertain to the horrific injury sustained by this 6-week-old baby boy that has been killed, allegedly at the hands of the scumbag that you see in front of you, who's a college professor, if that's relevant. He's a college professor at Belmont Abbey College, I believe, in North Carolina. And he has been suspended from that position, but he has not been dismissed as yet at the time of publication, or certainly as far as we're aware. Maybe that's a factor, maybe it isn't, but Belmont Abbey College have not yet seen it appropriate to completely dismiss this scumbag, alleged scumbag. His name is Erick Custodio, and he and his wife raised funds to adopt a baby boy. As far as I understand, they only had the baby boy for weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. It was only 6 weeks old. So it says here the baby was adopted just weeks ago. So I don't quite know exactly what that means, but I would assume it means roughly 2 or 3 weeks. This scumbag's being charged with killing the 6-week-old boy. So on April the 1st, investigators were called to the scumbag's home due to a child in cardiac arrest. The baby was taken to the hospital. A week later, police charged this absolutely evil, psychotic scumbag piece of shit with child abuse and obtained arrest warrants that said that the baby had a skull fracture, broken rib, and multiple fractures in each leg. Baby bones are particularly flexible, more flexible than adult bones. It's not easy, I believe I'm right in saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not easy to fracture baby bones. So a lot of force has to be put into that. Friends told police that this scumbag, Custodio, told the friends that he threw the child on the sofa and also squeezed the child, the 6-week-old baby boy that he and his wife had adopted. He squeezed the child, hearing a pop in the rib area. He also told his friends, whilst changing the baby's diapers, he jerked the legs of the baby back and felt a pop in the child's legs. Police arrested him when he was at a friend's house. They'd received a tip-off. They were able to arrest him. The baby boy, whose name was Lucas Burcham, died 2 days later. This scumbag, Custodio, was charged with first-degree murder. He's being held without bond, so that's a good thing. The death penalty does exist in North Carolina. However, it hasn't been used since 2006, so it does exist, but I think it's fair to say effectively it's not an option. If it were up to me, I would go for the death penalty. I know not everyone does. A lot of people prefer life in jail, life in prison, so that they can go through a long period of suffering. So back to the article. This scumbag admitted that he physically abused Lucas multiple times. In a video seeking money to help pay for the adoption, this scumbag and his wife, who had already adopted a girl, said, "We just felt like God put that desire in our hearts. We've always wanted to have a family. At the end of the day, it's a calling, right? It's a scriptural thing, right?" So I'm just going to comment on that, and perhaps unfairly. This is one case, and I don't mean to suggest that this kind of thing is frequent, but certainly this is one case of somebody hiding behind scriptures, hiding behind their purported belief of a religious view. You know, here he is apparently saying, God put the desire in our hearts. It's a calling. It's a scriptural thing. Presumably all the whilst he has no such wholesome thoughts at all. He's an absolute fucking evil scumbag who's prepared to fracture babies' skulls, fracture their legs, and crack their ribs. Apparently, the wife threw him out of the house as soon as she learned about the abuse. If that's true, I applaud her actions, presuming that she did so in the first possible instance, presuming that she didn't have any other red flags that were overlooked. But if that is the case, I applaud that. Perhaps she could have done more. Probably she should have done more. Probably she should have reported the incident to the police at that point. But perhaps the police were involved at that point. I'm not sure. The organisation Both Hands, which helped the couple raise money for the adoption, said in a statement that it was incredibly devastated about this news. Does this organisation, Both Hands, does that deserve some scrutiny? I don't know. I don't know. I literally don't know. I mean, maybe it does, but having said that, I suppose at the end of the day, there's a level of blind trust that these organisations, I presume, would have to have blind trust in those seeking to adopt. They want adoptions to happen, not necessarily for financial gain. I don't know if there would be financial gain involved in that, but I can imagine that it's probably worth looking into this organisation, Both Hands, to make sure that they do have good processes, and let's see if those processes can be improved upon. But perhaps that's a little unfair of me to mention that point. I'm not sure. This scumbag, the alleged, was a professor at Belmont Abbey College in Belmont, North Carolina, and an adjunct professor at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte. He has been suspended from both positions. I would have thought he could have been fired by now. What do I know? I don't know anything about that, but I would have thought that this situation would call for immediate dismissal, immediate cancellation of all employment contracts would be my thought. So I would question why those organisations have only enacted a suspension at this point, but I guess ultimately that's by the by. I've gone through the full article. It is, as I say, incredibly heinous. This scumbag allegedly killed his 6-week-old boy that he had adopted along with his wife. He's admitted to having assaulted the boy multiple times. The boy died with a skull fracture, broken rib, and multiple fractures in each leg. I wonder if he'll suffer the same fate. I wonder if he'll ever suffer a fractured skull, broken legs, broken ribs. I wonder if he'll ever face such things. I wonder what evil exists within him to allow himself to inflict such harm to a baby that he adopted, a 6-week-old baby. It's insane. I'm going to wrap things up here. I normally say condolences to the victim's family. I mean, if the mother is innocent, if the adoptive mother is innocent, condolences to the adoptive mother. But who knows? I'm going to wrap things up here. If you do like this type of content, if you feel there's value, please do like, comment, subscribe. I will be making several more videos this evening, and unfortunately there's at least one other case which is very similar to this. So there's that. I'll thank you for your time.